All right, so we're here today. We're going to talk about writing the equation of a line, point-slope form, and writing linear equations. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We talked a little bit last class. We've watched a couple videos, and right now what we're going to do is review the homework. So you guys had homework 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 29, 30, 31, and 32. And what I want to do is I just want to talk about 29 through 32 briefly. It says, is the relationship shown by the data linear? If it is, model it with an equation. I'm not going to give you too much direction here, but the key is, do you know what a linear relationship is and how it's shown? And I also want to add one more thing onto this. If it's linear, then you need to give the equation to your best ability. If it's not linear, okay, if it's not linear, I need you to tell me why. Okay, I need you to tell me why if it's not linear. We need to be able to talk about that. But for now, we know everything up at the top here. This is all linear, and all I did was ask you to do that first column anyways. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to run through examples 5 and example 8 with you. So that's taking a point and a slope and taking 2 points and find the equation of a line. It says in point-slope form. I'm actually going to show you a couple different things, and I'm also going to add 2 problems to your homework assignment so you can be mad at me if you want to. But after watching this video, you should be able to do number 6 and 7, as well as 1, 2, 3, 4. But while you're watching the video, I'd like you to try 6 and 7. I will also post the solutions for number 6 and 7 for you, so that you can try those before you get started on 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go on and take a look. So here we have, it says write an equation in point-slope form. Again, very key to read the directions for the line through the given point. So the given point, so they could give us 2 points, that's one possibility, or through the given point, they could give us 1 point, and they could also give us, okay, our slope. And our point here looks like x comma y. That's an ordered pair. 2 points would be 2 of those. So let's take a look at number 5. Okay, number 5 says they give us the point 4, 7, and they give us a slope of 3 over 2. So if they are giving us a point and the slope, we should use point-slope form. You don't have to, but that's what by name it suggests would be the easiest. So point-slope form again, remember, is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to write that down just to make sure we got it. Now we just have to figure out, okay, what goes where? Well, I see my 3 halves, that's my slope, so that's going to go right where my m is. And for my point, this would be my x1 and this would be my y1. So my x1 would be 4, that would go here. And my y1 would be 7, that would go here. So what does the equation now look like? Rewritten, I have y minus 7 equals 3 over 2 times x minus 4. And I'm done. That's really all I need to do. That is the equation of a line. You notice I still have my 2 variables, x and y, which I need. And that is the equation. However, most of the time we see that we're like, oh, wait a minute, but Mr. F, that doesn't look like a line. I'm used to a line looking like this. And you're right, that is probably the most common form of a line. Again, this is called slope intercept form. And there's really not much difference. This requires a slope, just like this requires the slope. They both require the slope. And this one requires a point. And this one also requires a point, but it requires a specific point called the intercept. The reason I say that is because my intercept B, the actual point, can be written as 0 comma b, because for the y-intercept, the x value equals 0. And if you notice, you put 0 in, 0 times m is 0, and we're left with y equals b, which is now my smartboard wants to act up. Great. We'll wait a second for it to come back on. Oh, and there we go. So we see that y equals b when x equals 0. So this is really requiring a slope and a point too. But let's say we want to make it look more familiar for us. So let's say we want this equation here to look like slope-intercept form. What I would need to do is notice the difference over here. And that's the y is isolated, so let's isolate the y here. First we need to start by distributing that 3/2. So I see that y minus 7 equals, that's 3 over 2x, so that's 3/2 x. Now how do I multiply the 4 times the 3/2? Well, I look at the numerator as a multiplier and the denominator as a divider. So this is also 4 over 1, so we can look at this as 3 times 4 on top, so that's minus 12, and on the bottom is that we're going to divide by is the 2. Let's simplify, and we see that y minus 7 equals 3 over 2x minus 6. Now we're not left with a fraction there, that's fine. Now how do I get the 7 by, or the y by itself? Again, I'm trying to isolate that variable. I want to add 7 to both sides. And we end up with y equals 3/2 x plus 1. Now how can we check? Well, we know that 4, 7 is supposed to be on this line. So if that's true, then when we put in 4 for x and 7 for y, we should come out with a true statement. So if I said 7 equals 3/2 times 4 plus 1, this had better be a true statement. Otherwise what? Otherwise this point does not lie on this line. So let's see if it comes out to be a true statement. We've got 7 equals 3/2 times 4. Again, 3/2 times 4, put it over 1. 3 times 4 is 12, divided by 2 gives me 6. So that's 7 equals 6 plus 1, and absolutely that's true. I know that my point must be on my line. So that's how to use point-slope form. Let's talk about how to use slope-intercept form for the same thing. So here we have y equals mx plus b. Some of you are going to find this a little bit easier, but again, it's just 2 different ways to do it, totally dependent on what you have. So y equals mx plus b. Again, we need the slope. Both formulas, we need the slope. See, in both formulas. So what I want to do is I want to say that, okay, here we have m equals 3/2, so y equals 3/2 x plus b. And now you might be saying, well, I don't know x, I don't know y, I don't know b. Well, I do know x and y because we had this point over here for 7. So let's take the 7 for the y equals the 3/2 times the 4 plus the b. And we again have 3/2 times 4, 4 over 1. We know by now that's 12 over 2 to give me 6. Subtract 6 from both sides in order to get the b alone, and I find that b equals 1. So now we come back and we take that b value and we plug it in for b up here, and we see that y equals 3/2 x plus 1, and that just so happens to be the same thing that we got when we did it the other way. So there you go. That's 2 ways to find the equation of a line. Given this time we were given a point. This time we were given a point and the slope. They gave us a point and the slope, and we're able to write the equation of a line. In the next video, we're going to see what happens when they only give us 2 points. So if they gave us 2 points, like here we see at number 8, 8, 11, 6, 16, okay, you're actually going to go through the same exact process. Think about point slope, okay? Let's think about the two forms we know how to use to write a linear equation. Point slope, I know they're standard form, but we're going to leave that for another day. Point slope and slope intercept, okay? So we have point slope and slope intercept, and what we want to do, no matter what, first is we have to find slope, always. Okay, if we don't find slope, we can't use this formula. We can't use this formula, all right? We need to find the slope. So we have to remember that slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Another way to look at it is if you have a graph, that's also the change in y over the change in x. Or you can look at it as rise over run. They're all the same type of thing. So what we're going to do is we got to first find the slope. Let's take a look. So let's just label these points up here. This will be my x1, this will be my y1, this will be my x2, this will be my y2. So if I look here, m equals, so that'll be 16 minus 11, there's 16 minus 11, divided by, looks like 6 minus 8. So that'll give me a 5 over negative 2. 5 divided by negative 2 is 2.5. Negative 2.5, you can write it like that, or you can say that that's the same as negative 5 over 2. That's fine. The whole thing's negative. A positive divided by a negative gives me a negative. I'm okay either way. But now what are we going to do? How are we going to write the equation of a line? Well, we have two options. We can use point slope form, or we can use slope intercept form. And what we have is, now that we have found our slope, our m value, okay, now we have a choice. We can use a point slope, and well, what are you going to say, Mr. F? How do I have a point? I don't know. All we did was find slope. How do we have this point? Well, lucky for us, they gave us 2 to choose from. So we have these 2 points. We need to just choose one of them, use it here, use it with the slope. And if you want to use slope-intercept form, that's fine, you can. You just need to find your b like we showed in the previous example. So I'm going to break the video here and let you guys finish this problem off for homework. So what you need to do is, I already found the slope for you. So the slope's here. Okay, the points are here. This is problem number 8. I'd like you to write the equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. Alright, and I will post another video right after this one that gives you the solutions to problems 6 and 7. So I'm adding on number 8 for you to finish to your homework. So right now you have problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, problem 4. I'm adding on half of problem 8. I just did half of it for you. And I would also like you to practice problem 6 and problem 7. And I will shortly post another video with solutions to problem 6 and 7 just so you can check your work. And problem 1, 2, 3, and 4 we'll talk about at the beginning of class on Wednesday or Thursday.